do I need to be sore? Do I need to damage muscle? So
yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, we can go with that. The answer is no, you don't need to be sore. I mean, practically speaking, right? When you start working out, you're very sore.
But does it help?
First workout.
But does the damage help?
Does the damage help? The answer I would say is probably not. And my sort of basis for answering that is they've done the concentric only training studies where in theory you should be less sore because there's not eccentric loading, that sort of thing. You still see hypertrophy. And Matt Stock, he's a good buddy. He's published that stuff. Yeah, no, just loading is what's needed, right? Loading consistently and making sure that the loading is taken to an effort that's certainly near volitional fatigue. I don't know if I answered. That seems too simple. That was a really short answer for such a complex question.
Well, loading is important, but with blood flow restriction, you don't have to load as much.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so I don't know what I think about blood flow restriction. A lot of those studies, as you know, they do it in conjunction with loading. Now, I had seen some of the early work, and I'm not, full disclosure, not well versed in this area, but where they were doing blood flow restriction and like walking, for instance.
Oh, geez.
And there was a tremendous amount of hypertrophy according to like MRI. I think this is done in 3 subjects. It was a Japanese group, and I think it may have been linked to one of the originators of BFR. I'm not certain that isn't fluid shift, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Right.
So yeah, I think we need to do more biopsy and ultrastructural interrogation. And while I'm sort of speaking out of both sides of my mouth, I'm saying, hey, look, biopsy, we have a sampling issue with fiber size versus tissue level hypertrophy. Where it can inform us, certainly, is looking inside of the myofibers and at least getting a glimpse as to what's going on with the ultrastructure. So the non-myofibrillar spacing, right? There's even exciting evidence now about cytoskeletal remodeling within the myofibers. What's going on between myofibers? Is there more extracellular spacing, things of that nature? We do have a study coming out. I still have to look at the data, so I can't say anything about it, but the data is collected and I'm going to edit the paper where we did some of that with BFR training. This was in collaboration with Trent Hurta's lab at Kansas. And so we're going to publish that, but unfortunately I haven't dug in deeply into those bar graphs quite yet. So, but we need to do more of what, we need to do more BFR stuff, looking at the ultrastructure to see exactly what's going on. Because when you talk about, okay, we're going to put cuffs on and not load, and we see hypertrophy, I think loading is the critical component for skeletal muscle hypertrophy. So
I'm a big fan of being pragmatic. If it boils down to loading, it'll be loading. We don't have to worry about what you damn cuff on and worrying about, whether you go to failure or non-failure and whether you do 30 reps or 3 reps. It's like, it all kind of works. You just got to be, as Dr. Roberts would say, you got to be consistent and you got to load.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's right. And the effort's got to be there for sure. And that's for optimal hypertrophy, right? I mean, you can go in and sort of sling a little bit of weight here and there, and you'd still see some hypertrophy, but you have to take it. The effort's got to be there consistently for sure.